I'm sorry, a bit late. I was actually catching up on some food. I definitely need it. Let's see who's in the chat. Oh, right. Oh, lovely. Couple of people there. 4 people watching. So before we get started, this is the Fisherman's Blues. I'm Mike the Fisherman. This is my small little YouTube channel where I get to talk about football. I get friends and fellow fans of my club chat in the chat, have their opinions, disagree, agree, and frustrate, and vent their frustration or their joy on Ipswich Town and everything that it has to offer. Also, I might add, clubs, fans from other clubs, please come along. Anyway, like, subscribe. Costs nothing to subscribe. You don't have to. You can watch it, enjoy it. And if you enjoy what I do, like I said, hit the subscribe button, as they say. We're going to go for what? Go for 30 likes. I'm happy with small numbers. We'll just go for 30 likes on this video. So, who we got in the chat? We have got Charlie. How you doing, bud? If it wasn't already obvious enough that we needed a striker, this game proved it. Poor from Ashton and McKenna. We knew Galat was going in February, yet never replaced him. Well, they'd argue we did. We replaced him with Azon. But I have to agree. Dino, good evening, my man. Agree. Preston Games showed we need a striker who can put the ball in the net to get us top 2. If we don't go up, heads will need to roll. Just have to wait and see now. Right, okay. So obviously the lineup from memory: Walton, Furlong, Kipre, O'Shea, Davis, Matisiwa and Jens Kajust in the midfield. And then you had Agali on the right, Mamete in his first start for the club in the 10, Azon in the 9, and Jack Clark in his favourite role on the left. And I don't know what to say really, because it was, there's so many points that I want to make over this. I'm fed up of repeating myself on some of them as well. Look, we'll get to the striker in a bit because I'm struggling for words on this. I've got an itchy back. And I've normally got a lot to say, but we're currently sitting 4th in what is arguably probably the worst championship full of teams, I would say, has been for a long time. I can't remember a poorer championship, to be honest, with what's available quality-wise. And then when you look at like teams like Coventry, Borough, who are sitting top 2, and I know obviously Coventry are having a bit of a bad run at the moment. I think they've won 3 in 9, or something like that. I don't want a bad run. Borough has caught them up, so they're sitting 2nd, and Hull City, a team I actually had, I think, for fighting relegation, and how have they been good this season? Ollie Burney doing well, scoring a few goals for them. So, they're doing quite well as a team. And then you look at Ipswich, the money we've spent. So we spent 120 million pound in the Premier League, of which we paid Delap and Omari. And we sold them for 60 million, and then we got relegated. We've spent about another 40 million pound, probably more than that, 50 million pound in the transfer window of this summer. With the only real with a Spanish, potential striker in Azon, and it hasn't really worked out. And then You think the transfer window, maybe they're going to look at this. Maybe they're going to, take a punt on a striker. Put some money in, blah blah blah. But no, not a thing. No striker. No decent number 9. We've upgraded everywhere else on the pitch. Allegedly, according to a lot of people, we've upgraded all around the pitch. The place we haven't upgraded is that number 9 role. We've relied on Hurst, who quite frankly has gone backwards with his football. And you've got Azon that runs his socks off, and nothing wrong with that. But he can't finish his dinner. I'm just going to have a swig. And it's very frustrating because realistically, on paper, we're supposed to have the best squad in this league, but we don't. We brought in Sam Smodic from Blackburn, scoring goals for fun there. Struggled at Ipswich, and we're struggling for a number 9, and we let a forward player go. I think he was always going to leave this window. I feel that there's it hasn't worked out for him for whatever reason. He's not a bad player. Don't become a bad player overnight. I just don't feel he fits in the way that McKenna plays. And this is the problem. I think McKenna is too one trick. I've said it for a long time. He's too one trick pony. 200 plus passes between Kipre and O'Shea. That says everything you need to know about the modern game of football and the way that we played against Preston. It's bullshit. And I'm going to call it out for what it is. It is utter bullshit. I'm fed up of this passing round the back crap. Yeah? Could you imagine in Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, playing around the back like that? Back then, Arsenal fans would have slaughtered Wenger for that. Ferguson would have been gone within 3 years. You look at the way Carrick has set up the United side now. I mean, who would have thought they'd have beat Man City and Arsenal? I wouldn't. Over 50s walking football. It might as well be. It might as well be walking football because they're just constantly passing. I mean, this standing on the fucking ball bullshit, I thought we got rid of that when Wolfie left. And yet we got to sit there and watch this stupid, our pathetic captain, O'Shea, stand on the ball and look for a pass in the midfield, our static midfield, where there's hardly any movement. And, we don't have the goals up in that forward line that we had. We got Nunes, right? Lovely player, very creative, creates a lot of opportunities. But Chaplin, who we let go out on loan, scored 13 goals in this division. Why is it? It doesn't make sense. We desperately need another number 10, and we let one out on loan. And people go, he's only scored 1 goal at Portsmouth, at Pompey. I don't give a shit. He was playing for us. He knew how to play for us. He knew how to play the way that we played, and we've let him go. And I'm sorry, but Akpom, absolute waste of money. Absolute waste of money. And our recruitment has been diabolical. I see somebody put, I think, with 8 out of 10 for recruitment this window. I'm like, on what planet are you working from? I mean, there's blue tinted glasses and there's blue tinted glasses. It's an absolute joke. And you think yourself, taking those out of the supporters' asses with that one, because that's brown nosing for the sake of brown nosing. That is, get in the bin, not having that. Absolute pathetic comment. That 8 out of 10. We've best 5 out of 10. We brought in obviously them two, Neil and bloody Mehmet, and I know. Look, to be honest, I think that was a good signing, Mehmet, but it's all about what happens on the football pitch. Charlie says, hang on, what's this? Trevor says, hello, Trevor. Sorry, mate, I didn't give you a shout out. Mistake was made in the summer. McKenna put all his faith in Hurst to be his number 9. Absolutely agree. Over 50s walk football, we laughed already. McKenna only knows how to play one way, which is why he'll never be an elite manager. I have to agree. I think he's very stuck in this modern style of football. This Pep Guardiola style football. And I think it's boring to watch at times. Slow, methodic. Against Preston, we didn't deserve nothing out of that game, and yet we got a point, really. And I'm going to call it. I didn't think any of them were penalty shouts. I think the ref was poor. Right, let's talk about the ref, because that's probably the worst refereeing performance I've seen at the club. And I've seen a lot of poor refs, but that was the worst by miles, absolutely miles. I'm not worried about the penalties, but the actual referee performance was horrendous. But it weren't just horrendous for us, it was horrendous for both clubs. I don't think any of them were penalties. We got away with one. We dropped 3 points. We dropped 2 points. We should not be drawing at home against teams like Preston if we're looking at promotion. It just simply wasn't good enough. I thought, it's just not good enough. It really isn't. And I think, when you look at our squad and you think, when we play our best, when we play fast, we're more direct, we attack the play, we stop all this passing around the back bollocks, we start putting it into the midfield, start playing into the channels, start getting the balls down the byline. When we play like that, that's at our best. I mean, if you look at, we've got and players that have come here that aren't performing. Agueli, not performing. McAteer, not performing. Our best right winger is Burns by miles. Not just by, by miles. Jack Clark, obviously Philogene. Philogene's like a hot and cold tap. 1 week hot, next week cold. Jack Clark, for me, sometimes can be a little bit lightweight, but scores goals. I just want to start seeing people outside the area start fucking taking shots. Gone are the days when you had Letitia, you had Rooney, you had Van Persie, you had Shearer, Chris Sutton, all them players, just banging balls in from outside the area, 20 yards, 30 yards out, hitting the ball and just, and actually hitting the target. I know balls are lighter these days, but just come on. You paid all that money and you should be able to hit a target from 30 yards. And if the keeper saves it, great. It's a great save. If he's not, that's in the back of the net. And if it bounces off the keeper, who knows what happens? But we need to start shooting more outside. We need to get it down. We need to get it down the byline more. Stop all this stupid passing around the back crap, because it's driving me up the wall. I fucking hate it. I hate everything about it. It's not football. It's netball in shorts. It's just not good. It's not good. It's awful. And the way we set up, Preston's goal, that was coming. I could see it. I said we'll end up going 1-0 down, and we did. And you could hear the fans were proper on the case. You can hear it in the ground. There was lots of comment. I watched some of the videos of some of the lads that do like podcasts and stuff when they're at the ground videoing, and you could hear fans go in the background. What is this player doing? What the hell is that? And you just think, it's only going to be so long before we realise that maybe McKenna's taken us as far as he can. At the end of the season, that's probably what he'll get. But I think recruitment has got to be, is the thing that's been really piss poor, in my opinion. For the money we've spent, we've ended up with not a lot of good quality. Potential, but not good quality. And it's all very well, Ashton coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, we've been trying to get these targets, but it hasn't come off." Bullshit! You're covering your ass, mate. You're absolutely talking out of that your rear end. Yeah, there's players you could have gone in for, and I bet you didn't. You are going to get knockbacks, and I get that. But my God, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Other than, it was just if we've got what, I guess I'm pissed off as well about tonight. I want to say, Pompey, you're a tin pot club. You need to go fuck off back to League One. That is calling the game off. I got wet pitch. Fuck off. You're in the Championship. This is 2026 for fuck's sake. Are you telling me you can't, you still don't have proper drainage on your pitch? If you don't have proper drainage, fuck off back to League Two. Bugger off down there, because you ain't worth a wank if you're in the Championship. I'm sorry, I'm swearing, I'm getting on one here. Bugger off back to League Two. It's bang out of order. Calling the game off a second time. We'll play Mutton Rain because our pitch doesn't. Oh, that's getting a bin. Tin pot club, non-league club at best. Bugger off back down there. You know, it's just a small shed in Southampton. You really are. Portsmouth's a shithole anyway. I've been there a few times. But yeah, all I can say is, obviously the chat's a bit quiet tonight because I don't think there's a lot to be said really. I think I'm going to try and do a pairing with maybe one of my son or whatever. They made 3 deadline day signings, striker, winger and a centre-back, so they'll be bedded in when we play them now. Yeah, that is another thing as well, isn't it? It just seems a bit convenient. I think calling it off once is fine. Okay, you can accept that. But calling it off twice, I think you should just have to hand over the 3 points. I think you've got to accept should be an automatic 3-0, automatic 3-0, and we get the points, because it's ridiculous. Now, we've got Derby at the weekend. Szmodic can't play, obviously, but they're going to be buoyed up. They're going to be fired up. They're on a bit of a roll. Do I see us get anything? No, not particularly. I think the way things are now, I think the table as it stands, I think there's a good chance, if Hull continue, there's a good chance they might get top 2, one of the top 2 spaces. But I just feel it's Coventry and Middlesbrough. And I think that, we're going to have to reside the fact that we're in the playoffs. And I just think that's unacceptable. And I think if we end up in the playoffs at the end of the season and don't go up, we get rid of McKenna and get another manager in. I do, honest. And if we don't, that's a travesty. Because, what about that, Mike? McKenna said Szmodic wouldn't leave if he didn't pay the right. They didn't pay the right, and then he leaves on loan. I know. It's just there's so much bullshit coming out of the club at the moment. There's so much. McKenna's interview was all about the fans. Oh, the fans done well. The fans done. We don't care about it. The fans don't care about other fans. Fans care about the fucking players playing football and winning games. That's what fans care about. And I'm just fed up of hearing his spiel. It was bad enough, the Sheffield United result, but this is just Preston at home. Fucking hell, they lost 4 on the bounce. And we couldn't even break it. We didn't look like even scoring at any point from open play. Hurst, Jesus Christ. He's a fucking striker. Even my boy Daniel knows how to hit a fucking target. Oh, he scored a worldie at the weekend. Scored a Yeboah type. Remember the Leeds one? Where they hit the crossbar, bounced in. That's what he scored at the weekend. Even the opposition was said, my God. I can't believe he did that. So that was nice. I love that sort of side of things. But But yeah, I've always said to my boys, just take a shot. If you've got an opportunity to take a shot, and that's what they do. Daniel gets down there. If Daniel's on a wing, plays down the byline, whip it across, scores loads of goals that way. But this modern football, it's, you know, and I don't like this 8-second rule on the goalkeepers, because if they're doing it on that, then they should do it on throw-ins and free kicks, if I'm honest, apart from a direct free kick. If it was a direct free kick, you should be allowed to set up walls and whatever. But an indirect free kick, you should have 8 seconds, because and a throw-in as well, because the amount of time wasting that's going on with throw-ins at the moment and free kicks, you know, indirect free kicks is a joke. It's quite laughable, really. But anyway, that's 21 minutes of me. Do I think we'll go to Derby and get something? I don't. I think the best we're going to get is a draw. Our away performance is crap. So, but like I said, we haven't addressed the number 9. They've known since February last year, so they've had a year to address this. There's plenty of strikers that are out there banging in goals that we could and should have signed, and other teams have got them, but we chose not to. You know, the promotion year, we brought in Kiefer Moore, and that made a huge difference. He was one of the reasons why we got promoted, because he offered something a little bit different. This season, we have not bothered. We have not bothered bringing anyone in to help Hurst or Azon. Now, I'm not saying number 9s need to score 20 goals a season, but they need to hold the ball up, and they need to lay it off, and they need to at least score double-figure goals. And, you know, our right-hand side isn't scoring enough goals. Igeli hasn't scored enough goals. I think, like I said, Burns came on, first game, scored. You know, again, like I said, we have to watch Burns, because obviously his knee and that. But, you know, not enough goals from Igeli, not enough goals from a number 10s. We've only got Philogene and Jack Clark. Well, yeah, hit the bloody target would be a start for our strikers. You're not kidding. Bloody hell, some of them are on double figures a week, on 5-figure sums a week, probably more, and they can't hit. 10 goals together, Hurst, Azon, Akpom. That isn't good enough. That is nowhere near good enough from so-called quality players. There's not enough aggression when they're in front of the goal. Agreed, Dean. Pathetic. There's not enough aggression when they get the ball behind, when they are in goal. There's not enough, you know, you're having it going in the back of the net. I mean, Hurst, you know, Jesus Christ, he was one-on-one. He's got to score that, and it was an embarrassing miss. Oh, dear me. But, I mean, who do we play in that 9? I mean, I see people talking about Igeli playing in the 9. Well, he couldn't do no worse than playing in the 9 than what he's doing on the right-hand side. Akpom is slow and always looks unfit. He just looks overweight. He looks unfit. Doesn't look like the player he was when he was at Borough. Doesn't look very good at all. But, I don't know. But on to Derby. Let's see what Derby brings. I'm working, so I won't be watching. I'm on a late, so... Oh, no, I will watch. I will. I listen. I will watch. Because, you know, that's just got to be done, isn't it? But, yeah, so... but, yeah. Yes. We'll see. Anyway, 25 minutes nearly. Thanks for your time, guys. Sorry it's a bit late. I was away fishing, so doing some well-needed rest out and work on my fishing lake. So it's always on the go, I'm afraid. But back at work today, and it wasn't a bad day. It's nice to have. There he is, the Cambridge Yeti, as he's known, Dwayne the Brimacombe Yeti waffle. I love a bit of waffle. Have a nice bit of jam on waffle. Cheers, Dean. Always nice. Nice to see you boys on the chat. There's not as many on here tonight. It's probably because it's a midweek and people don't want to hear me waffle. Yeah, Derby at the weekend. Let's see what happens. Could be a different turnout. Could be a different thing. I could be sat here in my pink shirt and we've won. But something tells me that's not going to happen. Our way form is crap. So McKenna, look, Kieran McKenna, how about you watching this for once? More direct play. Stop O'Shea standing on the fucking ball. Stop the stupid passing around the back. Cut that out. And, leave it in the washing basket. I could really, shouldn't I? I should do that, yeah. Fucking hell. So frustrated. It's one of the most frustrating seasons I've had for a while. Anyway, I'm done. This is Mike the Fisherman. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for joining. Hopefully next time will be a more positive call. And I'll try and get someone to join me. I don't know how you do it, but I will look into it, see if I can get someone to join me. Anyway, for now, I'm Mike the Fisherman. This is Fisherman's Blues. Up a town.